Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today's topic is the rise and fall of ancient civilizations. Hope you like, share and subscribe. Let's get started. About 400,000 to 300,000 years ago, modern humans, the Homo sapiens, appeared in Africa. 100,000 years ago, some of them decided to pack up and move to someplace new. So began their journey from Africa to India via Arabian Peninsula as a brief stop. The first permanent settlement of humans out of Africa was, in fact, established in India. Within 10 to 20,000 years, there were more people living in the Indian subcontinent than in entirety of Africa. Now that's some surge. About 75,000 years ago, Indians decided to explore their surroundings, and so began the peopling of rest of Eurasia, entirety of Oceania, and the Americas. So much for exploring, isn't it? For the next 67,000 years, things were pretty much the same and lame. People living in tribes, making stone tools, and living a hunter-gatherer life. Until nearly 8,000 years ago, Indians first began farming in the Indus Valley region. Soon, it spread to a large part of northern plains, and many cities began to emerge. Thus began the ancient Indian civilization of the Indus Valley. For the next 2,000 years, they were the only civilization on the planet. Despite this loneliness, they innovated immensely, making the Indus Valley civilization the most populous, richest, and the most advanced civilization to have ever existed in the ancient world. Nerds. After 2,000 years of solitude, farming spread to Mesopotamia and cities began to emerge. Hence was born the second oldest civilization of the world in ancient Mesopotamia. Finally, India had a companion to trade with and do other civilizations stuff. By the time ancient Egyptian civilization emerged, there were millions of people living in ancient India, and ancient Mesopotamia was in 10,000s. 4,000 years after the Indus Valley civilization and 4,000 years before now began the ancient Chinese civilization, which soon became the second most populous civilization after ancient India. These two civilizations, the ancient Indian and ancient Chinese, were the biggest innovators of their time. India from 8000 BCE to 1600 AD, and China from 1600 AD to 1870s were the richest place on the planet. Later on, other civilizations appeared, like the Mayans of South America, the Aztecs of Mexico, the Incans of Peru, the ancient Greek civilization, the Khmer of Southeast Asia, Great Zimbabwe civilization, the Roman, the Ghana, and so on. After 4,500 years of being the greatest civilization, at about 1500 BC, the Indus Valley civilization abruptly ended, followed by ancient Mesopotamia in 530 BC, ancient Egypt 340 BC, ancient China 220 BC. Until recent times, archaeologists and historians did what they loved to do the most. They debated on whether ancient India is the oldest or ancient Mesopotamia. Thankfully, some new artifacts discovered proved that the Indus Valley civilization came 2000 years before ancient Mesopotamian civilization. Harsh reality. Indus is considered the main river of the Indus Valley civilization. After all, why would the name is the Indus Valley if it wasn't so. Turns out that many of the largest and the oldest cities of this civilization, in fact, were located near the banks of another river called Saraswati, which by the way dried up 4,000 years ago, and now only some parts of it flow as seasonal streams, as most of its tributaries were diverted to the Indus and the Ganga due to tectonic disturbances. But still, the debates must go on and on and on about the existence, course, and drying out of the river. Just like the Indian history, the Chinese history is also full of debates, which many a times contradict each other. But hey, not my problem. The first dynasty of China was the Shia dynasty, which was founded by a person who engineered dams along the Yellow River to prevent damage caused by the floods. Indeed, China was a damned country since the ancient times. Nothing new. Ancient Mesopotamia was never at peace, as different city-states and kingdoms waged wars against each other. And to think Middle East is a hotbed of conflicts in modern times. This civilization ended after being conquered by the Achaemenid Empire of ancient Persia. Ancient Egypt too fell to the Persians and later on to the Alexander the Great. Cleopatra was the last pharaoh of Egypt, and yes, she had to wear a golden beard in public. Weird, but true. Ancient China ended with the dissolution of the Han Dynasty into several smaller kingdoms. Ancient India's fall is rather more fascinating to historians and still a mystery for some reason. Some say it's climate change, some say it's the Aryan invasion theory, and some just blabber out whatever comes to their mind. Yes, there are people like that friend of yours who claims to know everything, though reality is contradictory. The most popular theory is the Aryan invasion theory. According to it, there was an invasion of India by the people living in Caucasus of Central Asia, which destroyed the Indus Valley civilization and brought Sanskrit to India. This is where you get caught in a catch-22 situation, as the Vedic texts and Mahabharata, which are written in Sanskrit and should be around 1500 to 1000 BC years old, have references to the existence and the drying up of river Saraswati, which had completely dried out about 4000 years ago while the Indus Valley civilization existed. Due to this, there are many theories about the end of Indus Valley and many versions of the Aryan invasion theory too. Some of them claim India to be the main homeland of Aryans. Apart from this, yoga is said to have been started in Vedic era, but now archaeologists have uncovered seals of the Indus Valley which show evidence of yoga being practiced in this ancient civilization. There are many other such catch-22 situations in other theories about the end of this ancient Indian civilization, like the traces of radioactivity in the ancient cities and many more. This is still a mystery waiting to be uncovered. Let's see who's the first to do so. Which of these 6 ancient civilizations would you have liked to live in and why? Egypt, Aztec, China, the Indus Valley, Mesopotamia, or Greece? Let me know in the comment section, guys. Thank you for watching Geopolistry. Please like, share and subscribe.